So now I'm on a Canyon Torque. This is a 27.5. This one's got 175, I think they said, travel front and rear. Got SRAM X01 drivetrain, SRAM code, RSC brakes, carbon frame, alloy DT Swiss wheels. Cute little lizards.
So as always, the thing I'm looking for the most in bikes that I'm trying out is things that'll dampen the shock from bumps, rocks, drops, jumps, whatever. So that's my main concern, but of course I want to find something that'll climb well because I'm going to be riding all day. I'd say the other attribute I'm looking for, probably equally as important, is of course the fun factor. There's some bikes that I rode where I get on them and you'll hear me say, well, this is playful and whatnot. It wasn't just that. Or some bikes where I got on and it felt like it was a bike that I've been riding for years already, and that was something that I really liked. So this is always a fun little section here where they have these small little jumps, and it was a good place for me to see how the bike's handled, not only to be able to manipulate the bike, but also how it felt when I landed.
I like this so far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Want to travel?
Yeah, but I like the 27.5 too.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm a big...
I really like it on the back.
Well, even going up through here, I know 29 is supposed to climb better. Well, not climb, but go through the rocks better. But I can negotiate things better.
Yeah.
27.5.
I feel the same way. So far, I don't know what it is about the rear suspension on the ECIs, but it's just like all business. Didn't mess around with bobbing or...
It's all business.
Just roll through.
Yeah, this bike's pretty nimble.
Probably because of the wheels, right?
What's that?
Probably because of the wheels.
Yeah, probably.
It was here at Outerbike that I definitely decided that I like 27.5 size wheels better than 29. I am more comfortable on them. I can handle the bike a lot better, and I think they traverse technical sections just as well for me.
Front tire slip.
These few sections coming up were somewhat steep, but also had a lot of rock faces on them to traverse as you climb, so this is a good area to see how well a bike climbs and handles technical features.
bike climbs up the rocks really well. Even though I'm tired, it still climbs pretty well. So going back on the Canyon Torque, I just got finished riding the transition. Really like that bike, but I also like this torque. So I figured I would give them like a back-to-back comparison. So I might want to check. I want to see if I'm getting good at guessing this. I feel like this bike, the Canyon Torque, has a steeper seat tube angle transition. I want to test myself, see if I'm able just to tell from how.
This is that same small little somewhat jump section that I mentioned earlier, so I'm doing round 2 on my second ride on the Torque.
This bike doesn't feel as soft on the jumps, but it's still playful though. I mean, I still like it. But I don't know if it's that coil shock on that transition. I still really like this one now. But I think so far, I mean, I'm going to have to wait till I go to that actual downhill part.
Bike handles turns whether they're loose or not at speed. It's a pretty nimble bike. I was really impressed with how it felt going around turns. I really like this little kind of like a snake section of the trail. I liked taking all the different bikes through this part, seeing how agile they are going through this.
I'm sorry, not James, sorry, the transition.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it has to do with the coil.
That's what I'm thinking of. You want to know something I think I've decided though? I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of SRAM brakes.
I think one of the things that help this bike feel agile is it feels really light, and I think part of it may have to do with not just the fact that it's carbon, everything, but this one had the XO1 Eagle, and so it's had the carbon cranks on it. So that reduces quite a bit of weight on this bike. This last section here was always a good one to take the bikes through, because you can carry a lot of speed through here, but there's a lot of rocks, so it was a really good test of how well the bike absorbed impacts.
Pretty tough choice. Even being tired is still a fun bike. This is a really playful bike. and it's actually really fun. Or the HD5. Big price difference.
What do you think of the big boy right here?
It's good. It's my second ride on it. Trying to compare it to another bike I really liked.
Yeah. How do you compare? What do you think?
So the other one I was really liking was the transition. Is it the? I think it was the Portal. I think.
So, Portal, I think it's around the same amount of time.
They're pretty similar. I think this one climbs better, but I think the other one, it felt a little more, because it has a coil spring, so it felt a little more plush in the rear end. But I think this one climbs better, so it's kind of like, hey, which one do I want more?
Yeah, you want a little bit better climbing and a little bit more, you know, like you said, support, I guess you would say, in the downhill.
Yeah.
It's true, man. It's tough.
But I really like this one, though. This is a really fun bike.
Oh, for sure. That's for sure. And it's, you know, it's one of those things, too. The nice part is that if you ever wanted to go to a coil on this bike, it's what you know.
That's true.
Always upgrade to a coil if you really like the feel. I always tell everybody, though, one of those things is that the coils are heavy. I keep thinking about it on my Stride, but I'm like, it's already kind of a heavy bike. Do I want to add another pound or so on there with that?
Right.
It's, like you said, the ride quality, 100%. Sacrificing a little bit of weight. But it's pretty solid. Pretty solid all the way around.
Yeah.
Both of the bikes, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, like you said, finding out which one you want a little bit more out of. So.
That's a good price point on the Canyons, too.
Mm-hmm.